These are the 10 deals I regret buying the most. Hey guys, I am the Deal Guy, Matt Granite. Welcome back to the channel. This is a very different video. I've never done anything like this before. I'm opening up to you about my regret. If this is the type of content that you'd like to see, please give this video a thumbs up, subscribe, and turn your notifications turned on. Now, of course, I hunt down deals, I use algorithms to track price drops, and I'm always advocating for your wallet. But there are things that I've purchased just for myself in the past where despite the deal and the price and the timing, I could have done better. We all make mistakes, and I've made many. This is tied to my personal purchases. Now, of course, before you see a product reviewed on this channel, it goes through extensive testing and product comparisons. And sometimes I'll sit on a product for 5 or 6 months before I ever feature it to ensure that it's right for you. But I did find some things that were not right for me. So before I show you each of these products around my home and in my studio, I just want to remind you guys that on mattsdailydeals.com, I have my favorite product that you won't regret buying. The most popular product on my website right now is this lantern that drops to as low as $9.99 depending on how many you buy. It's an emergency lantern. I do use affiliate links, which means I benefit monetarily if you're kind enough to use my links. So the first deal that I regret buying, Amazon Basics batteries. I have more Amazon Basics batteries than you could possibly think of, all because an incentive appeared and a coupon, and I figured my daughter has toys that need batteries, and I wear microphones and I broadcast to national television from my home, and there's gotta be a way where between this and smoke detectors and everything else, I can use batteries. And it looked very much like what you see on your screen. Promotions galore and low battery prices, and I quickly regretted my decision for this reason. I will attest to the fact that the Amazon Basics batteries are great, but I will die with extra batteries, and I hope to live a very long life. Battery pack after battery pack, not only is that a draw on the wallet, not great for the environment, but I don't know what I'm gonna do with this many batteries. So there is an alternative, and it's what I should have purchased in the first place. These Eneloop rechargeable batteries by Panasonic. You can see I finally purchased these January 21st, 2019. After I realized that I'm still going through AA batteries, and I wanted something that was dependable. When you guys are actually watching me on TV or on YouTube, these are the batteries that I use in all of my microphone packs. They're what I use in my daughter's toys, and they're what I should have purchased in the first place. There's no memory effect tied to these batteries, so it doesn't matter whether you use a little bit of them and you charge them, or you draw the full capacity out of them and then recharge them. They're just constantly ready and interchangeable batteries, and a better purchase in the first place. The second purchase that I deeply regret was a smart home security system. Now, in the past, if you guys have seen the tours of my home where I've showed you how this all worked, I got an amazing deal on the equipment. Most of it was free, and I paid very little for the smart thermostat and the smart video doorbell. And it worked with my Echo and was just an absolutely phenomenal device that was monitored, but it came with a contract. In fact, a 3-year contract. And when I needed equipment serviced, every time I got that equipment serviced, they actually had me re-sign a 3-year contract. And I kept thinking to myself, I'm not going to move, but circumstances changed, and I decided to actually move my family. So we're unable to move a lot of the equipment, and the buyout on my contract right now is $1,000. My wake-up call came when I really started to test the Ring security products, where for $10 per month, you get unlimited video storage. It's a DIY system. You can take the equipment with you. You own it outright. It sets up in minutes, and you still get that 24/7 monitoring with no contract. It's a much better decision. And I deeply regret getting all excited about the free equipment and the low monitoring fee and all of the promotions and price drops that were imparted to me at the time that I signed up. I regret it, and I'm not happy with that purchase. The next product I deeply regret purchasing is a Kodak Selfie printer. I actually purchased this while a lot of the photo printing kiosks were inoperable due to what's going on in our communities right now, and I wanted to print my own photos. And I bought this. Now, of course, this is Canadian pricing. US pricing is less, but I purchased this on July 6, 2020. And I thought this would be highly useful so I could print all of my wonderful family memories and put these into frames and give them to family members. And it was useful to an extent. Oh, that's a duplicate, but I haven't printed that many photos. This is them washing the windows. And once you take into account the expensive costs of the toner, the special Canon Selfie paper, and the fact that I don't really use it that much for the bulk printing that I could easily get done from a Walmart kiosk or a Kodak kiosk or even just Snapfish, I'm spending a lot less money on their services, and by the time that I've realized that this is not as fun as it was the first time I used it, the novelty wears off very quickly. The next product that I deeply regret purchasing is a pair of Bose headphones. And I know you guys are thinking, wait, Bose, awesome, amazing. I'm actually going to show you the deal that I took advantage of. It's a $230 list price down to $159. This is still available right now. These are the Bose SoundLink around the ear headphones. And I was so excited because compared to Beats by Dre, which I feel you're overpaying for an aesthetic most of the time in a brand name, Bose has tremendous sound engineering. These are lightweight. They're over-the-ear headphones rather than on-ear, and they ticked all of the right boxes for $159. And I was even willing to get past the fact that there's no active noise cancellation with these headphones, because I'm thinking to myself, well, I often need to hear my daughter when she's in her crib if she's napping and I'm watching YouTube videos or trying to learn something or doing a Skype or business communication or listening to music. Maybe I don't need active noise cancellation. Well, the battery life on here is billed at 15 hours. I got a little bit less. And as someone that reviews headphones for a living, you'd think that these would fold. All headphones fold, right? My Impow headphones fold, Beats by Dre headphones. They don't fold. Even the overpriced Beats by Dre headphones fold. The Decibel headphones that I've featured in the past on this channel, which have better performance and fold and are $99 versus $159, were a much better purchase. I needed to actually buy my Bose headphones to realize that what I've been saying in the past is not only true, but just because there was a deal on a pair of Bose headphones advertised to me by Amazon does not mean this is something that I should have purchased, and I regret it. I deeply, deeply regret this purchase from Cuisinart, which is a griddler, and I figured that based on the fact I'm in a smaller space now, this would help cut down on the pots and pans in the dishwasher, and you remove the top or the bottom of this and you do your grilling. You can turn it into a panini press. You can even make them go down on their side. It seemed perfect. Plus I got a deal on it at the time. I saved 20 bucks over the purchase price. First one out of the box didn't work properly. There are all these circuitry issues. I returned that one. The second one stained really badly. The third one started rusting. I'm on my fourth, and I want to show you the difference. Now, as you can tell from my home, we're not sloppy people. We're very clean. Even if we were sloppy, it shouldn't make a difference. I want to show you what the grill looks like when it comes out of the box. Beautiful, great, easy to clean. These come off, they go into your dishwasher, no problem. If the circuitry arrives working, it cooks everything very quickly. You get a nice sear. This grill is maybe 4 weeks old. And while the top part isn't rusting, welcome to the bottom of the grill. And no matter what type of stainless steel cleaner I've used in different cleaning solutions, the rust that has formed through oil and use over time, over a very limited amount of time, is a testament to poor manufacturing on the grill. So I figured that maybe with the Cuisinart Grill, I was just having bad luck. And if you guys can see, I've purchased this 4 times since August 9th, trying to either get the product to work or trying to handle the rust issues. But I'm legitimately trying to find the best in this product. It's made by Cuisinart. It's a #1 bestseller. It's got 11,000 nearly perfect reviews. And I can't figure out, as a tech reviewer and someone that actually reviews kitchen products, what I'm doing wrong. But you can see this has been a disaster, and I deeply regret this purchase, not 1, 2, 3, but 4 times, and I've had enough. I'm not returning the next one. It looked great in the photos, and it's one of the dominant brands, but this is the worst soap dispenser ever. Now, both soap dispensers have a differing price of $10. I realize the aesthetic is completely different, but the soap inside them is the same. So on a $25 soap dispenser, soap comes out, it's quiet, right? Great, everything you want in a soap dispenser. This soap dispenser makes flatulent noises and also barely dispenses the soap in a normal way. So again, why soap had to fly into the sink when I did this versus who, like, this is an awful mental image. This is just, I'm not trying to waste soap, but I'm going to I'm going to get rid of this dispenser. This might have been a deal. It might have been well rated. It is a piece of garbage, and it's a small financial contribution I have made now to the garbage, although I guess I am going to return this, but not worth it. Absolutely not worth it. I deeply regret buying that deal and that product. As you can see, I recently purchased this Glooby soap dispenser, and from right out of the box to where we stand right now, it has not been a great situation. And if you look at the soap dispensers, Glooby actually dominates a lot of the search results. So it's not crazy that I came across this product, but between the noises and the pump, really not worth it for 15 bucks. The next product I deeply regret making is an Apple TV replacement remote that was also around $15. We could talk about the Apple TV another day. It's not my favorite streaming system, but aside from the fact you get much better bang for your buck with a Roku or a Fire TV Stick Cube, we needed something tied to iTunes that I could entertain my daughter with. Anyhow, long story short, I hate the Apple TV remote, and if you've ever lost one, it's about 50 or 60 bucks to get the manufactured Apple version replaced. So I went on and bought an aftermarket remote. This one is proudly made by his gang. And while it does offer the full control of your Apple TV, you lose one very important function, and that, folks, it's the volume control. You cannot control the volume on your remote, so you end up having to use the television remote. And at the end of the day, for the slight amount of money I saved on the remote, the fury that I feel every single time I have to control the volume and reach for another remote is just not worth it on my his gang. I deeply regret a deal I took advantage of recently on a Black & Decker dustbuster. In fact, any dustbuster. I'm not going to blame it on Black & Decker. But for the really good dustbusters out there, you can actually get something similar to what I have in front of me where it does both, but it does so effectively. Now, I'm all in favor of Dyson, but I think you're overpaying for a brand name. And on the Shark Ion Flex, of all of the vacuums that I've tested, this is the best of both worlds, and this is what I wish I got in the first place. So what I wanted was something that can store easily. This becomes a full vacuum. You can vacuum effectively. It's relatively quiet, and it stores perfectly well as a vacuum. But as a dustbuster, you can store the vacuum, take the $100 you would put into a really good dustbuster, and pour that into a vacuum. And for this, I get something that can clean perfectly. You could use this in a car, upholstery, couch, blinds, conventional dustbusting, but you're doing it with something that really is the size of a dustbuster. That's rechargeable, that's wireless, and that's one device that you need to worry about, not two. And when you get a vacuum that stores as easily as this and has all the attachments you need, I wish I didn't get any dustbuster in the first place. In fact, I wish the last 3 or 4 dustbusters I've purchased over the last decade was just pooled monetarily into a vacuum that could have done both in the first place. The next product I deeply regret purchasing was actually a huge deal. It was $150 off a brand new iPad. And after having spent some time with the iPad, it's a fantastic tablet if you're going to produce a lot of content. That means 4K movies and that beautiful Retina display and photo editing. And these are all things that I don't do on my tablet. I use my MacBook Pro for that. So what I should have purchased was a Fire HD10 or a Fire HD8. And for roughly the price of the tax on my iPad, I have a tablet that's almost just as fast for the basic tasks. The battery life is better. It's got a micro SD slot so I can expand my solid state drive storage, and I'm not overpaying Apple more money tied to iCloud. And it's exactly what I need to consume content. I think a lot of us need to decipher between, are we using a tablet to create content or to consume content? And if it's streaming Netflix or Prime Video and you're sitting on the couch and you just want something that's an extension of your smartphone or a little bit larger, a Fire tablet for $49 or $89 is exactly what I needed. I can quickly call up all of my content. I can actually download it for offline viewing if I'm for any reason not connected to Wi-Fi. And it's responsive. I actually uploaded a YouTube video not too long ago after realizing my blunder, comparing the speeds and the tech specs between the iPad and the Fire tablet. And well, the iPad is definitely a much more robust, better equipped tablet for a lot of things that you would otherwise use your laptop for. The Fire tablet rocks, and it held its own in many categories, including speed on certain web browsing related tasks. So I would go for the $49 or $89 versus whatever I paid over $250 for the iPad. The next deal I deeply regret buying is this beautiful LG TV. I actually got this at a pre-Black Friday price. It was the lowest price this TV had ever sold for. And it was LG, and next to it, there was a TCL television. And I thought to myself, well, LG's better than TCL. It's just sort of like a Samsung. And I'm going to put aside the TCL brand, which in my mind, I've miscategorized in the past as very similar to Insignia, which is the Best Buy in-house brand TV. TCL, I like them a lot better. I've actually seen them improve over the years at the Consumer Electronics Show, where I frequently present on TVs and audio. I should know my stuff. But I went for the brand name, and with the brand name, I've got this very pronounced, typical black border on the television. And unlike a TCL TV, which I'm going to show you in a moment, where for less than this price, I could have got a frameless television with slightly better specs, I'm constantly reminded that despite that great bang for your buck I got on the inches for the television and the specs overall, I got a black border, and it haunts me. I could have completely eradicated this for a slightly lower price, as I said, by going the TCL route. Had I invested, or barely invested, in a TCL TV, I would have been able to enjoy a lot more performance given the fact that it's not an LG or a Samsung, a Toshiba, so you get a little bit more bang for your buck. But you're going to notice that I'm getting almost edge-to-edge glass. That black frame border that now drives me crazy on the LG TV is not present on most of the Series 6 TVs for TCL, nor was it present at the time. But I avoided the brand because I had an allegiance to what I thought was just better. And TCL is very different from Insignia. They've been around for more than 35 years. They're as old as I am. I should have given myself more credit, and I should have given them more credit. Dolby Atmos, the THS, the engineering, the fact that you get this beautiful, nearly frameless display for $80 less than I paid for my LG TV, I'm going to tell you right now, that is a product that I regret. I wish I went a completely different route and purchased the TCL. See, they're cheering. I'm not. So those are the purchases and the deals that I most deeply regret buying. Just because something's on sale or advertised to you with a promotion or at a deal price doesn't mean it's worth your while. It doesn't mean it's necessarily the best fit. And yes, I, the deal guy, Matt Granite, have made deal mistakes that I'm not proud of. I have to live with them. And one of the foundations of this channel is to ensure that you live with better deals and better products and better insights, so I can make the mistakes in my own personal life in my spare time and spare you from them by the time it goes to show you a new product or a new video or some piece of insight. So thank you so much for watching this. This is a very personal video. I debated making it because I was thinking I didn't really want to show 10 screw-ups, but they are, and I'm acknowledging them, and I'm going to do better. Thank you so much for watching. If this is the type of content that you like to see, please give this video a thumbs up. If you subscribe and turn your notifications on, I promise I'll have something even more awesome that you won't regret buying or seeing in my next upload. Bye-bye.